Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Leeuwen certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.
Of course, this is a shortened season this year, just the 4 rounds, and it all kicked off 4 weeks ago in Yinin for the first time in 700 or so days since the finale in Rudersberg in 2019. But since Yinin, we've come here to Lange for the second round, round 3 in 2 weeks' time in the Czech Republic, from Kramelin. And then 1 week after that, it will be the finale in Os in the Netherlands. Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak, the number 31, opted to go for the very, very inside gate there. Tim Leffering, only 17 or 18 years old is Tim Leffering. He was running inside the top 5 in yesterday's race, but unfortunately made a small mistake and lost a minute on one of the laps, and that dropped him down some way, unfortunately for young Tim. But Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, they've had a 9th place and a 1st place. They know what they need to do, as does Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. The current red plate holders there line up alongside Kern Hermans and Glenn Janssens, the Dutch and the Belgian pairing on the number 3 outfit, making some final adjustments to the machinery themselves, and of course the starting gate as well, to give them the best possible launch up towards that very narrow turn 1. Number 6, Kurt Barrett and Larry Kunas, local heroes there. And Justin Kuhn and Nicky De Bruyne. What a cutie. Justin Kuhn and Nicky De Bruyne on the number 14 there, just alongside the 711 of Marcus Normack and Carl Albert Kaseselu. The Estonian pairing having the good ride here this weekend in the World Championship. And I'm sure they're enjoying the experience as well. Lucas Cherney, Bastien Chopin, they were locked in a titanic battle with Gert Gordiev and Kasper Stupilis, but unfortunately that tumble that we saw in the highlight of race 2, that hampered their chances somewhat. They line up alongside Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Levreton on the Triple 1 machine. Jake Brown, Joe Millard, not having it all their own way here this weekend. Can they have a change of fortune in the 3rd race? Let's wait and find out. But the British pairing, certainly no lack of talent for the number 8 crew. Gert Gordiev and Kasper Stupilis, the 151. As I say, they were locked in that battle with the number 26. Number 25 of Lucas Cherney and Bastien Chopin, but unfortunately for Lucas and Bastien, it didn't go their way. Robert Litzter and Birger Tal, the Estonian pairing on the Triple 4 outfit, having a good weekend as well. Thomas van der Lagema and Rob de Veen, the Dutch and the Belgian, showing some promising form, as has the number 34 of Tano Riesner and Marcus Lehner. They were unfortunately involved in the drama of yesterday's first race at the first corner. And once again, big thank you to all of the sponsors that assist and help the World Sidecarcross Championship get the show on the road, and especially here as well. And look in the background, what a fantastic venue we've got here this weekend in Lange. And it certainly is going down well with the crews and passengers alike. The conditions yesterday weren't the best, but with no rain today and the sun beating down, it's around 13 degrees Celsius right now here just outside the city of Tartu. And the wind has been persistent all day, so thankfully for us the rain has stayed away. Not long to go now then before we get this race underway, the 3rd and the final race of the second round of the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship in 2021. Who's your money on, to those of you listening on the various social media platforms and also on the FIMsidecarcross.com website? The tension is building here in Lange as the crews make their final preparations for what should hopefully be a very, very exciting race that is about to unfold in front of us here in the southern eastern part of Estonia. So the 34, closest to the camera there, just the other side of the barrier. That is Tanel Riesner and Marcus Lehner showing some fantastic form there. Just to the right-hand side of them. Left-hand side on the screen is Thomas van der Lagema and Rob de Veen. Right on the far side of the gate will be the number 31 of Julian Veltman and Andre Cermak. Here we go, then the countdown is on and the gates have dropped. Oh, we've got a bad start there from someone in the middle. Didn't quite see who that was, but who's going to get the whole shot? Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas slot into second place behind Etienne Bax and Nicholas Mousset. Kern Hermans and Glenn Jansen's right there in fourth place behind Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax. Potentially Jake Brown and Joe Millard were the ones who didn't get off the gate, unfortunately, but Etienne Bax and Nicholas Mousset just going up towards the top of the picture. They got the whole shot like they did in race 2. They'll be looking to break the field as they did earlier on today. Julian Veltman and Andre Cermak are right there behind Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax. But here we go then, down the hill, down the plunge into the left-handed. Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax already looking to try and make a move on Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas. All just coming together there between Marvin van Lukenen and Julian Veltman. So the two guys at the top of the standings coming into this race, coming together already between number 2 and the number 31. But Etienne Bax and Nicholas Mousset, the number 82, the championship winning pairing of 2017, and of course Etienne, the reigning world champion from 2019. Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas, wow, I wonder what the fans are thinking right now, seeing them in second place. I've been tipping them for a podium all through the weekend. Can they provide it in the third and final race of the weekend? There is Jake Brown and Joe Millard right at the back of the field, unfortunately for the number 8 crew. They didn't get that machine hooked off the start, neither did Thomas van der Lagema and Rob de Veen. They're there. You can see just on the screen the outfit number 99. Jan and Pavel Abukau on the 26 is up next. But Etienne Bax and Nicholas Mousset well out in front. Listen to the delight of the crowd as Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas come across past us in third place. Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax already past them and charging hard after Etienne Bax and Nicholas Mousset. Julian Veltman and Andre Cermak in a solid fourth place already, just ahead of Koen Hermans and Glenn Jansen. Then it's Justin Kuban, Nicky de Bruyne ahead of Tim Lefferink and Kostas Baleskas. But at the end of the first lap, it is Bax and Mousset by 1.5 seconds over van Lukenen and Bax, Varick and Kunas, Veltman, Cermak, Hermans and Janssens. Willemsen and Lebreton just ahead of Cherney and Chopin in 9th and 10th. Jake Brown, Joe Millard in 21st, just ahead of Sana, Nitsu, Bukal and Bukal with Litzer and Tal rounding out the 24 of 24 riders. Bax and Mousset with that 1.3 second advantage over the number 2 of Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax. There they are, red plate holders just ahead of, I didn't quite see who that was there. It still looks as though that's Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas in third place, and indeed it is, and Julian Veltman and Andre Cermak still charging hard in fourth place, although they are losing a little bit of ground, it would seem, as they go on to their second lap. But Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas a solid third place right now. And Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax, they want to extend their advantage at the front of the championship, at the halfway point in the championship, of course, at the end of this race. So it's all very closely fought for the minor placings here as we watch Etienne Bax and Nicholas Mousset. Fantastic form over those 2 double jumps into the left-hander, but the air horns are blowing in delight for the third place man Kurt Varick, along with his Finnish passenger Larry Kunas. They're still there in third place, just ahead of the 31 of Julian Veltman and Andre Cermak. Eugene Kops and Paul Horton in 12th place, and I noticed that Gert Gordiev and Kasper Stuplis in 14th. So not the best of starts for those 2 crews, but the number 98 of Paul Horton and Eugene Kops, passenger and driver in that order. They'll be looking to maintain their 7th place overall at the end of this race. But Etienne Bax and Nicholas Mousset putting in an absolutely phenomenal speed and pace at the beginning of this race 3. Willemsen and Lebreton now ahead of Normack and Kaseselu for 8th and 9th. But the Dutch and the French pairing of Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, as I say earlier on in the feed, Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, together they won the 2017 world title some 4 years ago now, that is. And Etienne Bax, of course, world champion in not only in 2017, but also 2015 and 2019. Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax, they're charging hard as well. Robbie Bax hanging right off the right-hand side, off of that sidecar, try and get the thing turned around. And it's not until you really take a good look at the passenger here, in this case, Robbie Bax, it's not until you take a good look that you realise how hard and how physically demanding this sport really, really is. It's so fascinating to watch these guys clamber all over the back of this machine, and slightly rough landing there from Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax, but they've got it all under control. Of course, Marvin van Leeuwen, 2018 world champion, finished runner-up in 2019, so his main aim for this year is to reclaim the title that I'm sure he believes it belongs to him, and he's certainly going the right way about it. Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak trying their absolute best to get onto the rear wheel of those guys there. That is Kurt Varrick and Larry Kunas, the Estonian and the Finnish rider. It's absolutely incredible to see the fans showing their appreciation for Kurt Varrick and Larry Kunas. If they can bring it home in a podium position, this place will go absolutely wild, you can guarantee it. Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak flash through the picture in 4th place, just ahead of Koen Hermans and Glenn Janssens by 10 seconds. Now Kuban and De Bruyne in 6th place. Lefferink and Balescus have Willemsen and Lebreton for company now. Normack and Kaseselu in 9th, with Lucas Czerny and Bastien Chopin rounding out the top 10, just in front of the local pairing of Riesner and Lena. Kotzen, Horton, Visseling and Van Galen. Gordiev and Stupelis in 14th now, ahead of Royman and Letuila. 2.7 seconds is the gap between 1st place and 2nd place. But we are more interested in the battle between Kurt Varrick and Julian Veldman, because Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak need to score as much points as possible. We heard them speaking to Yeva earlier on, and Julian Veldman said to her that the main aim is to go out there and win. You can't knock the man for his honesty, that's for sure. The gap between those two is around 2.5 seconds now. And then again, another rough landing right on the lip of that jump for Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. But either way, they're in 2nd place right now, trying to catch up to the number 82 of Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. 3rd place already through the picture, as is Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak in 4th place. The crowd lining the circuit all the way around this 1.6 kilometre Lange track. There is Koen Hermans and Glenn Janssens on the number 3 outfit in 5th place right now. Fantastic result for them earlier on today to take the podium, but they've got a lot of speed, just can't quite string it together for a full race distance, it would seem. They did it earlier on for the 2nd race of 3, but inside the top 5 now for Koen Hermans and Glenn Janssens. Varrick and Kunas 2 seconds ahead of Veldman and Cermak now. Of course, that gap is absolutely nothing. A 2-minute lap time roughly, and covered by 2 seconds between 2 different crews. Absolutely fantastic to see how close the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship is these days. You can really say how deep the ruts are around this circuit now, as Justin Kuban and Nicky De Bruyne contend with those ruts. For the number 14 outfit, drop down into the left-hander before flicking it right for Nicky De Bruyne. Jake Brown and Joe Millard now 4 seconds behind the 15th place crew in 16th. Veldman and Cermak still in 4th place, but some way ahead of Hermans and Janssens. Kuban and De Bruyne. Willemsen and Lebreton got the better of Lefferink and Balescus on that lap, with Normack and Kaseselu in 9th. 2 seconds ahead of Lucas Czerny and Bastien Chopin rounding out the top 10. And right now we are looking at the 10-time world champion of Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Lebreton. And Daniel Willemsen just communicating there with Rodolphe Lebreton, perhaps trying a different line there. And we do know that Rodolphe Lebreton, he is not quite as used to the sand tracks as what he is the hard-packed dirt circuits, but he's doing a fantastic job there, partnering the legend himself, Daniel Willemsen, who won his first world title in 1999, 22 years ago. So we've got a change there between the 711 and the 75. That's not Marcus Normack and Karl Albert Keseselu making the way ahead of Tim Leffering and Kostas Paleskas. So the 711 now ahead of the 75. Fantastic stuff there from the local pairing of Normack and Keseselu. Marcus and Karl will be very, very happy with that indeed, ahead of Tim Leffering and Kostas Paleskas. Both going for the same line here. It certainly seemed that that is the favourable option. It's Willemsen and Lebreton, as I say, in 7th place, 10 seconds away from Justin Kuban and Nicky de Bruyne. And Normack Keseselu now ahead of Leffering and Paleskas. That is who is on screen right now. The 711 leading the 75, with Lucas Czerny and Bastien Chopin still there in 10th place, 2.5 seconds ahead of the next crew. The gap between Varick and Kunas with Veldman and Cermak is still hovering around that 2.5 second area, as we look toward the 31 of Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak. Absolutely fantastic stuff there. And of course on the CPD framed Mega engined outfit as well. And that is the only CPD frame in the entire field, the Corneliusson Personal Dienst. So that is the combination for Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak, the CPD Mega, and it's certainly working well for them this season. They've had 1 first place and 1, 2, 3, 4 second places this year. And it looks as though that this will be the first time that they are not on the podium, but with 18 minutes remaining, plus of course the 2 laps, it is all to play for. Especially given that Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas are only 1 second up the road, right there, within touching distance almost. So we saw the issues that Andre Cermak was having yesterday in terms of visibility. He had to, halfway around the circuit, rip the goggles off and throw them towards the infield. And we saw him looking down towards the bike just to stop the mud going into his eyes. But have we got a challenge on our hands here now? And it's Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak getting right up close to Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas. But it's just so deep, those ruts out there, that it doesn't make it easy at all for the number 31 crew. Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas, they would love to hold on to the 3rd place at the moment and take a podium, but getting a little bit crossed up with the ruts there was Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas. Both opting for the favoured line there. We can see how deep the grooves are within the sand. And that would certainly seem to be the fastest way around. Hermans and Janssen 6 seconds ahead of Kuban and De Bruyne now. Willemsen and Lebreton in a relatively lonely 7th place. All eyes for this battle to 3rd place. Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas currently occupying that position. What will be going through their minds right now? Will they know that Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak are right there with them? The gap last time was around 2.5 seconds, but this time it certainly looks as though it is closing up. There we go. 1.2 seconds is the gap between those 2 crews, and we've got Gissling, Gordiev, Royman and Brown all making up a position. So I think it's safe to say that someone inside the top 10, top 11 maybe has dropped a load of positions. Didn't quite see who that was, but we'll get confirmation in just a second. Bax and Mousset across the line. Van Lukenen and Bax up next. There is Varick and Kunas. Next up will be Julian Veldman and Andre Cermak. But certainly one crew dropping down the order at quite a rate of knots. There is Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset making their way past some of the backmarkers already halfway through this race. Next across the line should be in 5th place Koen Hermans and Glenn Janssens, the number 3 crew, and indeed they are there right on cue, 19 seconds behind Veldman and Chermak. 6th place Justin Kuban and Nicky de Bruyne, a further 8 seconds behind Hermans and Janssens. And who we've got here, we've got someone stranded in the middle of the circuit, but Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax make their way around that particular stranded rider. Willemsen and Le Breton in 7th place still. And it's Normack and Kaseselu up next. So it looks like it was Stacey van der Velde and Alex van der Velde, unfortunately, who were in the middle of the circuit there. And they have not been having a good weekend at all, Stacey and Alex van der Velde. But hopefully they can get that machine going and hopefully score some good points for the 1, 2, 3 outfit. Veldman and Chermak, Hermans and Janssens 4th and 5th. We need to see the gap between Varick and the number 31 of Veldman, because that certainly is definitely one to watch. But right now, Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win races. Get the whole shot and just go from there. It's a whole lot easier to say than what it is to do, I can guarantee you that much. Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax still there in a solid 2nd place, and this will put them in front of Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak in terms of overall classification, if they can maintain this position. Of course, just a 1 point difference between the number 31 crew and the number 2 crew. Here we go. So we've had a change for 3rd place. That is Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak up into 3rd place now, ahead of Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas. So a change for 3rd place then. That's the number 31 crew makes their way into the 20-point scoring position. Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas, whereabouts are they on circuit now? Just coming to view now, it would seem. Varick and Kunas 3 seconds behind Veldman and Chermak now. And it will be very interesting to see what kind of lap times that Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak can manage now that they have a clear track in ahead of them. Fantastic stuff from the number 31 CPD Mega crew. Well, of course, Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:56.768. But the leaders of Bax and Van Leeuwen are currently lapping within about half a second of each other within the 2-minute 2 bracket. And Veldman with a 2-minute 2.9 as well. Varick and Kunas a 2-minute 7.342. So maybe a slight mistake there from Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas on the previous lap, because we are not used to seeing them going 10 seconds or so slower than their fastest lap time of the race. Jake Brown, Joe Millard make up one more position on Gert Gordiev and Kaspar Stupoulis, the Estonian and the Latvian pairing, relegated now down into 14th place. But despite Varick and Kunas being relegated down to 4th place, the Estonian fans are still absolutely thrilled to see Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas right up there in the mix with the top guys, such as Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak. But right now we are looking at Lucas Cherney and Bastien Chopin on the 25 outfit. They were in a fantastic battle in the 2nd race with Gert Gordiev and Kaspar Stupoulis, but unfortunately a small mistake bit them hard and they went down. Just in front of Lucas Cherney and Bastien Chopin is the 75 of Tim Lefferink and Kostas Paleskas. And as we know, Tim Lefferink, a very young rider indeed, still only a teenager is Tim Lefferink, and he's doing an absolutely sterling job there, fending off the likes of Lucas Cherney and Bastien Chopin. Justin Kuban, Nicky de Bruyne in 6th place, just ahead of these crews. So Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset certainly the ones to beat, it would seem, here today. They unfortunately got caught up in the drama that unfolded in the 1st and 2nd corner in yesterday's race, and not only that, they had a small crash themselves after remounting after the drama. So to go from 20th up into 9th place come races end with a fantastic showing from the reigning world champion. But in the meantime, here we go. This is the first corner after the gate drop, and you can see just how crowded it is. Trying to find space between all those crews, Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. Mousset having a quick look behind, and he got a face full of the number 2 of Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. So much work that the passenger has to do in this case, and Nicolas Mousset, the Frenchman, very experienced passenger as well, multi-time world champion. Is Nicolas Mousset. 2017 was his championship winning year with Etienne Bax. Looking to rekindle some of that former glory here this year. They came into this weekend 3rd in the overall classification, or the overall standings, I should say. And they were looking to promote themselves as much as they can. But I think with Veldman and Chermak in 3rd place, it will be a very tough deal indeed. Of course, anything can happen in sidecar motocross. We've seen it before and we've seen it again, time and time again. But Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, there's such a fantastic pairing, these guys on the screen right now. Look at the form, look how much corner speed they can carry around there. And that WSP frame Zabel really being put through the works here this weekend. The Dutchman and the Frenchman working in synchronised harmony to manhandle that WSP Zabel around this 1 mile Lange motocross circuit. No change of position then inside the top 7, as Varek Kunas still behind Veldman and Chermak. Hermans and Janssens in 5th place, Kuban and De Bruyne up next, Willemsen and Lebreton, Dolak, Kostesolu, Leffering and Baleskas, with Cherney and Chopin rounding out the top 10 currently. So we have some of the backmarkers coming into play in very short time for Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, with Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax putting on a good display there in 2nd. Thomas van der Lagema and Rob Devine have already been lapped by our leading 2. Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak will be the next. So with 7.5 minutes remaining of the final race of the day, and in fact the weekend of all action. European Quadcross Championship have had all of their 3 races completed. So there's 7.5 plus the 2 laps remaining. And is that a little bit of smoke there from the number 6 of Kurt Varek and Larry Kunas? It certainly looks as though that's the case, but hopefully not. And they can bring that machine home. Fantastic stuff then. All around this circuit, very close battles for the minor placings, but Kurt Varek and Larry Kunas running in a strong 3rd place for a long time in the early part of this race. Unfortunately overcome by the charge of Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak. The number 54 of Ulla Karing and Oliver Lamp, the Estonian pairing in their home GP, having a good weekend and enjoying the experience, I'm sure. It looks like Daniel Willemsen and Rolf Lebreton are just making their way onto the back of a back marker here. Is that Jan and Pavel Bukal, potentially the number 26? And, I'm sure they'll make their way through in just a moment's time. Indeed, it is Jan and Pavel Bukal, the number 26, making way for the 111 of the 10-time world champion Daniel Willemsen, with Frenchman Rolf Lebreton as passenger for the 2021 season. Really see the difference in terms of weather between yesterday and today. There was standing water all around this circuit yesterday, but right now they're almost perfect for these guys. Daniel Willemsen once again showing Rolf Lebreton where he wants to go, so Rolf knows whereabouts he needs to position himself on that machine. to get the best out of the bike and of course the track as well. Very much team sport is World Sidecarcross racing, and that is evident with Daniel Williamson and Rodolphe Le Breton communicating to each other throughout the race. Certainly a lot of trust between those two guys, and of course all of the crews in the championship and the race here today. None more so than Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, who lead the way by 7 seconds now over Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak. 5 seconds behind Veldman and Chermak is Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas. And here we look at Gert Gordiev and Kaspis Stupalis, the number 151, having a good ride, it's fair to say, in around 13th or 14th place. But of course, let's not forget that they are both injured. Kaspis Stupalis, he put a photo on the social media last week, I think it was, and he had an incident on a solo machine. I think it was his right pointing finger that was pointing 90 degrees to the right-hand side, which is less than ideal, to say the least. So still a good ride there from Gert Gordiev and Kaspis Stupalis on the 151 outfit, and they are both injured. And of course, let's not forget that Kaspis Stupalis is very experienced in this championship as well. First won a world title back in 2003, when I myself was just 3 years of age. That is how long Kaspis Stupalis has been around this paddock and been in the sport of sidecar motocross. 2003 he won the championship with Daniel Williamson. 2004 they repeated the success, and of course Kaspis Stupalis, the most recent world champion, with Etienne Bax in 2019. The title won in 2019 with one race to go, or one round to go, I should say, by Etienne Bax and Kaspis Stupalis. But of course, parting company for this year. Kaspis Stupalis opted to work with Gert Gordiev for the 2021 season, and Etienne Bax going back to the French word Nicolas Mousset. Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak, they are now 11 seconds ahead of Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas. So it looks as though that they are quite secure in that third place position, but I'm sure they'd want to be in one place, maybe 2 places higher, as Kaspis Stupalis showing Gert Gordiev where he would like to go and try out different lines. It's a very distinctive colour scheme as well from Gert Gordiev and Kaspis Stupalis, with the purple and yellow. Makes it very easy to spot as we turn our attention back to Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. A small little mishap there with Nicolas Mousset, not quite positioning himself in the correct manner, but with an advantage of around 7 seconds or so, I believe it was. They've got no worries whatsoever. Into the final corner of the circuit, and when they cross the line this time around, there will be 3 laps remaining, with 1 minute 35 seconds on the board as they cross the line this time around. Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. Well, what can you say about those crews, or that crew in particular right there? Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset fighting from the back of the grid, or back of the field in the first race, up into 9th place, which were they said they were very disappointed with. But you've got to take the bad and the good sometimes, unfortunately. But they're certainly taking the good right now. A 25-point position earlier on today, and looking in line to score 25 points again for Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. Van Lukener and Bax 7.5 seconds behind now, with Veldman and Chermak about 17 seconds or so ahead of Varick and Kunas. But there on screen we see the red plate holders of Marvin Van Lukener and Robbie Bax. And if it stays the same, then they will maintain their advantage at the top of the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship as we go into the halfway point of the season already. Very deep rut there on the high line for Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. It's Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. 10 seconds left on the board. And as I say, when they cross the line next time around, there will be 2 laps remaining. Hermans and Janssens in a relatively lonely 5th place. Kurban and De Bruyne in a lonely 6th place, 15 seconds ahead of Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Lebreton on the 111 machine. There is our current 3rd place rider of Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak, doing a fantastic job here on the CPD frame Mega outfit. Normac and Kaseselu on the 711 there in 8th place, having a good ride for the Estonian pairing. Tim Leffering and Kostas Paleskas in 9th. And rounding out the top 10, we'll get confirmation in just 1 second, but still looking at Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak. You can just see how difficult these deep ruts here are to contend with. But these guys right on the top of their game. The best sidecar cross racers in the world here. They know what they're doing. 2 laps to go then for Bax and Mousset before they can lay claim to 25 points in this race. And 50 out of 50 for the 2 races we have had today. So many different styles as well. 4th passenger Nicolas Mousset opting to put his foot through the gap there, whereas some other passengers opt to put their foot around the wheel and really hang off the right hand side of their machine. And dirt being thrown up in front of them, and it looks like they may be lapping someone, and indeed they are. Tim Leffering and Kostas Paleskas are the lappies now on the number 75 machine. And after a good showing yesterday inside the top 3, but unfortunately losing that 1 minute on the particular lap where they decided to do a bit of grass tracking on the infield, certainly not what they wanted. So Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. Marvin, of course, world champion in 2018. That is his only title to date. He's doing a fantastic job though this year of trying to reclaim the title that man there, Etienne Bax, took off him in 2019. And Bax and Mousset not having all the luck in the world, to be honest. They got 3 3rd place finishes in Yinin and 9th place yesterday. It's only really today where their fortunes have taken a turn for the better, with a win earlier on today, and it's certainly looking as though they will take the win in this one. Just 1 more circulation to go then for Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset before they can take the checkered flag for what will be the final time of the weekend. An absolutely fantastic venue here all weekend here in Lange, Estonia, just outside the city of Tartu. This is the first time the championship has been to this circuit. Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset certainly making it their own. Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak cross the line now, some 25 seconds behind Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. So just 1 more circulation for the number 31 crew before they can claim the 20 points. Van Leeuwen and Bax, of course, in 2nd place will claim 22 points and extend their lead at the top of the championship by a small margin. But every single point counts, especially in a shortened season such as this one. And when this race has concluded, that will be the half of the season done already. Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, just a short way to go now before they take the checkered flag. But let's just watch and marvel at how good Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset are right now. Certainly a lot of work goes into putting this show on the road, but Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset doing a fantastic job there. Oh, Bit of a rough landing there, but with only 2 more corners to go for the number 82 of Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. They won't mind in the slightest. Fantastic support here all around this circuit from the Estonian fans, but it's going to be another race win for the number 82 of Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. Here they come then, 25 points in the pocket of Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset then, as they take the 2nd victory out of 3 for this weekend. Next up shall be the number 2 Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax, and there they are right on cue. We did get a quick glimpse of Eugene Kops and Paul Horton, who are doing a fantastic job this weekend, but Bax and Mousset take the win by 14 seconds over Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. Next across the line shall be the number 31 of Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak. Just a few of the lappies coming across the line right now. Lucas Czerny and Bastien Chopin being one of them in the red and white colours. There's Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak then, so that is the podium for the 3rd race of the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship, round 2 in Lange here in southern eastern Estonia. Gert Gordiev and Kasper Stupilis crossed the line to complete their race with 4th place. A very, very welcome 4th place for Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas. I'm sure the crowd would go absolutely wild to see them do so well all weekend. For Varick, the Estonian, and Kunas, the Finnish rider. Koen Hermans and Glenn Janssens just 5 seconds behind Varick and Kunas. Round out your top 5. The rest of the runners and riders complete their races. There is Thomas van der Lagemer and Rob Devine on the number 99. One of the lap riders, unfortunately for Thomas and Rob. Justin Kuban and Nicky de Bruyne, the next crew across the line in 6th place. Number 14 of Justin Kuban and Nicky de Bruyne. Alongside Sven Visseling and Kenny van Galen crossing the line now for the number 53 outfit. Fantastic racing all throughout the weekend from all of the races as well, not only the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship but also the European Quad Cross as well, as Daniel Willemsen and Rolf Lebreton crossed the line in 7th place. So Bax and Mousset take the win ahead of Van Leeuwen and Bax. 3rd place Veldman and Chermak. 4th place Varick and Kunas. 5th place Hermans and Janssens. 6th place Kuban and de Bruyne. 7th place Willemsen and Lebreton. And rounding out the top 8 is the 711 of Marcus Normack and Carl Albert Kaseselu. The number 54 having some issues there. Ulla Karing and Oliver Sebastian Lamp. It looks as though they won't be able to get that machine started and cross the race. So gutted. You can see how heartbroken Oliver Lamp is there. Can they kickstart that machine back into life? Oh, we do hope so for their sake. So Ulla and Oliver on the number 54 outfit, stranded within sight of the checkered flag. Very unfortunate indeed. And what a sad way to end the World Championship weekend for that crew. But hopefully we can go down there in just a second and have a word with the top 3 guys. But in the meantime, thank you everybody for listening to myself. Hopefully you enjoyed it, because I certainly did. And very, very fantastic venue. Thank you very much to the organisers for getting this circuit onto the calendar, because my word, it provided some fantastic drama and action all throughout the weekend in both championships. And riders and passengers alike enjoying this circuit, which is fantastic to hear indeed. So there we go. It doesn't look as though they'll be able to finish the race, unfortunately, so close to the end for Ulla and Oliver. But unfortunately, this sometimes happens. There it is, Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, the number 82 crew. Etienne closest to the camera with Nicolas Mousset in the background. And I think we may be able to have a word with Etienne Bax in just 1 second.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Etienne. Perfect day 2 for you here in Lange, Estonia. Overall weekend results, are you satisfied leaving Lange?
I'm not completely satisfied, you know, because the day of yesterday broke us up. We had actually a good weekend all weekend. But yeah, the 9th place of yesterday screwed it up a little bit for us. So luckily we had today's 2 good races and gives confidence for the future. But a little bit unlucky with yesterday, and yeah, you know, it needs to be better. You need to have a good weekend all weekend, and hopefully from Kremlin we can do this.
So now 2 weeks till Kremlin, what has to be done?
Yeah, nothing has to be done. You know, the starts are good at the moment. We feel good on the bike, so we don't have to change a lot. You know, we just need to be more consistent, and I think this is what we need to change. And you know, it's an open goal. You know, the title is still inside, and we can still make it.
Well, thank you for fantastic racing, and I'll see you in Kremlin actually.
Thank you.
That is a championship winner's attitude right there. You can take 2 wins out of 3, but the one that got away is going to be niggling right in the back of Etienne Bax's mind, unfortunately. But as he says, the championship is still in sight. And with 2 race wins from the 2 races today, he has certainly done his chances no end of good, that is to say the least. But, lots of local supporters here supporting the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship and the European Quad Cross Championship as well, just making their way towards the gates. And on the right hand side there, you can just see how tall that Julian Veldman is. He towers over Ondrej Čermák, who is not that short anyway. So Julian Veldman, he seems happy with the podium finishes that he has had not only this weekend but also throughout the last 2 rounds as well. Every single moto he has finished on the podium, and this is his worst result of the season in 3rd place. Not very bad indeed. And Marvin van Leeuwen just having a quick word with one of the guys down there as well. But this is how they leave Lange and the halfway point in the season. Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax ahead of Julian Veldman and Ondrej Čermák. So that 3-point advantage opens up to a 4-point advantage as they head towards Kremlin in 2 weeks' time. Bax and Musse on 62, Varric and Kunas on 52, Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Lebreton ahead of Lefferink and Baleskas, Hermans and Janssens, Kurbin and De Bruyne, Eugene Kops and Paul Horton inside the top 10 in 9th place, with Gert Gordiev and Kasper Stupelis rounding out the top 10 finishers. Thomas van der Lagema and Rob Devine, Marcus Normack and Carl Albert Casseslu on 26 and 25, Jake Brown, Joe Millard, Lucas Cherney and Bastien Chopin on equal points, both on 20, 16 points for Sahn and Nietzsche, 15 for Ryman and Latweiler, Bukal and Bukal, Van Verven and Van den Bogart down in 18th place. Not a good weekend at all for the number 11 crew. Sven Visselik and Kenny Van Galen in 19th, with Adrian Peter and Miroslav Zadlukau on 10 points in 20th. Stacey and Alex van der Veld on 6, Argo Polzar and Arno Piva on 4, Ular Carring and Oliver Sebastian Lamp, Tanar Riesner and Marcus Lena on 3 points respectively. So there we go, that is how the overall classification looks as we come away from GP2 here in Lange. Let's take a look at our 3rd place finisher in the 3rd race there, Julian Veldman and Ondrej Čermák, the Dutch and the Czech pairing, having a fantastic weekend all around. Very hard landing there from Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax. They brought it home in 2nd place in the 3rd of 3 races this weekend. And he didn't quite have an answer for the man who won. Etienne Bax and Nicolas Musse, they really were the class of the field today. Unfortunately, that 9th place finish yesterday didn't do their chances so much good, but either way, fantastic results for all those guys, and they're certainly doing their championship challenge no harm at all. But here is the championship classification then as we come away from the 2nd round. 137 points for Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax, 133 for Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak. Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset not that far away from Van Lukenen and Bax, just 17 points separates first, second and third. Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas, Daniel Willemsen and Rodolphe Lebreton up next. Hermans and Janssens in 6th, with Lefferink and Baleskas in 7th. Kuban and De Bruyne, Czerny and Chopin, with Jan and Pavel Bukal still there inside the top 10, the Czech pairing on 53 points. Thomas van der Lagelat and Rob Devine just ahead by 4 points of Egan Kopf and Paul Horton. Gert van Verven and Ben van den Bogart 13th place in the championship at the halfway point. Can they turn their fortunes around in Kramelin and Oss? Only time will tell. Marco Heinzer and Rudy Betjar, Gert Gordiev and Kasper Stupelis. Jake Brown, Joe Millard in 16th place ahead of Joachim Ryman and William Latoile. Marcus Normack and Carl Albert Kaseselu in 18th. Stephen Viges and Loic van der Putten just ahead of Fabian Hoffmann and Marius Strauss. The Swiss pairing making their appearance at Yinin. Jarno Sahn, Sten Nitzu, Svisselink and Van Galen up next on 16 and 14. Van der Stralen and Jens Mand, the Chanteloup pairing on 10 points, as is Adrian Peter and Miroslav Zatlukal. The Van der Vaart pairing on 10 points. Polivka and Rota up next. Martin Jizlavski and Jan Hanelik ahead of the two Estonian crews of Polzar Piva and Riesner with Lena. So that is the point standings as we come away from GP2 here in Lange in southeast Estonia. In 2 weeks' time, we'll be back for the third round of the 2021 season, and that will be held in Kramelin in the Czech Republic. And just 1 week after Kramelin, we head towards Oss in the Netherlands for the final round of the 2021 World Sidecarcross season. Who will be crowned champion then? Who knows? But it's a very, very close title fight between the number 2 crew of Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax, as well as 31 Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak taking the fight to them. 4 points separates the top 2 crews, and it sounds like we can go down there with Jeva and have a word with Marvin van Lukenen.
All right, Marvin, well done. Race weekend here in Lange is over. Are you satisfied with your results?
Yeah, at the end we are happy. It was not so easy for us. It was a tough track, but yeah, we can hold the red plate, and that was most important for us.
Were you stressed about coming in the race 3 with only 2-point difference with the Veldman-Chermak team?
No, the season is still long, and we can do just our best, and that's what we do in the third race. So we are happy about today.
Now we have a 2-week break before Kramelin. Are any preparations will be done for the next GP?
Yeah, we have next week's the Nation, so yeah, we will start there, and I think that's a good preparation for the next GP in Kramelin.
All right, I'll wish you good luck for your few last rounds in the championship then.
Thank you.
Thumbs up from Marvin van Lukenen then. So thumbs up from Marvin van Lukenen. We can go back down there now to third place finisher in that particular race, but second overall, Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak.
All right, Julian, coming in to the race 3, you were 2 points behind Marvin. Unfortunately, you couldn't chase him. You ended up third. Are you satisfied with the result, or you wish to leave the weekend with a red plate?
I wanted to leave with a red plate for sure, but yeah, the start was not good. I could not pass Gert Varick, took too long. Then Etienne and Marvin were far away. And I could close the gap a little bit, but it was too much. So I go for safe, third place and second overall, and I'm happy with that.
Still heading into Kramelin, there's a very few point lead by Marvin. Can you take it in Kramelin?
Well, I think we can, because I've been a few times this year and last year on the track for practicing. So I know the track quite well, and yeah, I think it's possible. We need good starts for sure. I need to practice on that.
And speaking about the weekend overall here in Lange, did you like the track? Would you love to return here next year?
Yeah, but they need to take a little bit sand off, and we need to be a little bit harder. So then we can also jump the nice tables and everything. Now the speed was too low. And yeah, I think for next year, when they change a little bit on the track, it will be perfect.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good review then of the circuit from Julian Veldman there. Thumbs up from Marvin van Luckenen and Julian Veldman as well. They're very happy with their performance throughout this weekend, and this track certainly provided some fantastic action for the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship. One man who will be very happy though is Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset, a 9th place yesterday. They were a little bit disappointed with that one, but they come back and they came back strong. 2 race wins today then, and they come away 3rd overall. Still very close battle at the top of the championship between Van Luckenen and Veldman. 4 points as we head towards Cramelin in just 2 weeks' time. Of course, there is the Nations next week as well in Gugnon in France, so hopefully our cruise there will go well, but all eyes towards 2 weeks' time in Cramelin as we prepare ourselves for the podium ceremony. Marvin van Luckenen and Robbie Bax, they tried their absolute best in that 3rd race there, but unfortunately Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset were just a little bit too far up the track for them to catch. But Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak, they came here with the goal of coming away with the red plate. Unfortunately, it didn't quite come to fruition, but 4 points behind the championship leader is no mean feat at all. So fans, young, old, and in the middle as well, here enjoying all of the action put on display by the FIM World Sidecarcross Championship crews and the European Quadcross Championship riders as well. And they're all there accumulating to get ready for the podium ceremony, which will get underway in hopefully just a minute's time. But Kurt Varick and Larry Kunas, they'll be a little bit gutted to not come away with a podium, but still a fantastic ride all weekend from the local rider Kurt Varick and his Finnish passenger Larry Kunas. Showed some good form throughout the practice and qualifying sessions, just could not put it together in a race unfortunately. However, they were running in quite a strong 3rd place until Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak managed to put the pressure on them and ultimately get ahead into the final podium position.
terminoloogiaga kuskil mööda ei pane. Ta oli vallavanem, aga see oli Kerstnavald vist, kui ma nüüd täpselt mäletan. Ja ma loodan, et ma sellega mööda ei pane, aga ma selle kindlalt.
There we go, then that is what it is all about. Points, prizes and trophies. That is the main aim of the game. And the biggest pot going to Marvin van Luckenen and Robbie Bax. They leave here with the championship lead of 4 points over Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak, with 3rd place, number 82, Etienne Bax, and Nicolas Mousset a further 17 points behind the number 2 crew.
And unfortunately, the 2nd place go to Norway, to Mr. Christopher Tavern, but unfortunately, Christopher already leave us. About hurry to get the ferry, and actually we don't have Christopher anymore here, but we have a winner, and the winner trophy will be given by Win Europe jury president, Marianne Supa, and it goes to... I didn't hear.
So there we go, Kasper Michikowski there, 3rd place on the podium for the European Quadcross Championship here in the 2nd round in Lange, Estonia. There is Kevin Saar, who took the overall victory. It doesn't look as though Christopher Tavarian is there, but all there in his very formal jersey is Kevin Saar. Must be in quite a lot of discomfort with those 2 cracked vertebrae, but hats off to the guy. I was saying earlier in the race, but if I had 2 cracked vertebrae, I'd be in bed for the next month or 2. But to go out there and take the overall victory is a fantastic job from Kevin Saar. He can't even put the trophy on the podium. Such is the pain and discomfort he is in. But Kevin Saar, Tavarian, and Michikowski. That is a very well-received first place overall for Kevin Saar there. He will spray the champagne over the supporters and crews as well. Got to come away with a 1-2-1 finish in all of the 3 motos here this weekend. Fantastic stuff from the young Estonian rider, and the local fans, I'm sure, loving the fact that he is there on the top step of the podium where you need to be.
Don't worry, just relax and just enjoy the moment.
Of course, Roman Kviatstal was having a good ride and was 3rd overall initially, but unfortunately he made a small mistake under a yellow flag infringement, which dropped him 10 places, and that puts up the 117 of Kasper Michikowski onto the podium. So 1st, 2nd and 3rd, Kevin Saar, Christopher Tavarian and Kasper Michikowski. And, Kevin Saar, there you go, you can have the flowers, I'll keep the alcohol.
Yeah. I'm very, very, very happy. This is like my best ever
There you go,
result.
there is Kevin Saar shaking hands with Martin Bainey there, the man behind the championship. So much work has been done by Martin to get this championship on the road, and it really is all down to him. A fantastic man and a real hard worker as well. Round of applause then for all of the podium finishers in the European Quad Cross Championship.
I'm very happy for you.
And we should get the Sidecar World Championship finishes on the podium in just a second, but Kevin Saar showing that he is made of tougher stuff. An incident in the Latvian Championship last weekend, and of course
Czech Championship. I mean, European
injuries yesterday. Let's listen to what Michikowski has to say.
Few words in your own language for your own band.
Dziękuję bardzo wszystkim, którzy oglądali ten live, stali za mną i kibicowali, bo dzięki wam to jest na pewno ten wynik. Dziękuję.
Thank you. Whatever you said, I'm sure you said something very important. Thank you and congratulations.
Yep, me and you likewise. I hope you understand Polish there, but he seemed very happy to come away with 3rd place there, did Kasper Michikowski, the Polish rider, riding the number 117 number.
So we have a second part of
next up, we should have Christopher Tavarian, but of course it doesn't look as though he is there. So Kevin Saar shall be the next man we hear from.
For Sidecarcross and Tartu, Lange GP, Estonia 2021, end of September. Sidecarcross, the 1st place goes to, actually the trophy will be given by a very important person from Estonia motorsport side. Please keep in mind, this is General Secretary of Estonian Motorsport Federation, Mr. Rauno Kais. Rauno, show you. And these trophies will go to team number 82, Etienne Bax, Nicolas Mousset.
Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset then come away from this GP 3rd overall, and will it be in the back of their mind that 9th place finish have hampered their chances ever so slightly? Who knows? But 3rd place overall for Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. Fantastic stuff, and especially with the 2 Moto wins today in dominant fashion as well.
Hey, audience, I didn't hear you. Please let you know that you were there. Make a noise. Hands up. And the 2nd place trophies will be given by FIM CMS jury member Peter Isgren. And these trophies go to 2nd place, team number 31, Julian Veldman and Andrei Chermak.
Julian Veldman and Andrei Chermak then take away 2nd overall here this weekend. It was very, very closely fought between themselves and Marvin van Lukenen and Robbie Bax. 1 point was the difference going into the 3rd and final moto, but unfortunately they didn't manage to capitalise on that one. But still, a fantastic ride there from Julian Veldman and Andrei Chermak. 2nd overall in the 1st round in Yinin, 2nd overall here in round 2 in Lange. Can they go one better in 2 weeks' time in Kremlin? Only time will tell, and we will soon find out. But in the meantime, we await the arrival of our first place crew in just one
will
moment.
be given for the local motocross track. That's highest important person whatever can be there. That is Mr. Lauri Rosjord. And 3 trophies for Mr. Lauri goes to today's winner, team number 2, Marvin Mansulena and Robbie Bax.
Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax then take the overall victory and extend their lead at the top of the championship over those 2 guys there. 4 points now is the difference between van Leeuwen and Veldman, and a further 13 points behind Veldman is the 2 men on the right-hand side, Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. A fantastic ride from Martin van Leeuwen and Bax to come away with 2 overall victories from the first 2 rounds. That will put them in good stead for the final 2 rounds in 2 weeks' time and 3 weeks' time as well. Kremlin and Oss will be the 3rd and the 4th rounds.
Very important people, middle of the important people. And national anthem of Belgium.
Big round of applause then for Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax, 1st place. 2nd place, Julian Veldman and Andre Chermak. 3rd place, Etienne Bax and Nicolas Mousset. The number 2, the number 31 and the number 82 in that order. Etienne Bax, the first one to start spraying the champagne at the other guys on the podium. Nicolas Mousset joining in as well. Fantastic scenes here. We've got Julian Veldman struggling to get the top of his champagne bottle off. Van Leeuwen wiping his hands on Andre Chermak. Fantastic friendships within the World Sidecarcross paddock. It really is so great to see the camaraderie on full display there on the podium. Van Leeuwen and Veldman fighting over the champagne bottle.
This is the things why I guess it was Marvin said that why he's there, and he come to get the red plates. So the red plates go Marvin Mansulena and Robbie Bax. Applaus, applaus, julgelt, julgelt.
Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax once again being presented with the red plate that they will be adorning on their number 2 machine in 2 weeks' time when we head over to the Czech Republic for the 3rd GP this year in Kremlin.
Okay, Marvin and Robbie, few words to the audience as well. So, you on the
fantastic riding all throughout the weekend from Marvin van Leeuwen and Robbie Bax to take 2 overall victories from the 2 rounds. Let's hear what Marvin has to say.
Yeah, we are very happy about today. We can hold the red plate, and that's most important about the weekend.
And as you said on the interview during next to the race, you said you come here to get the red plate. Your dream come true. You have a red plate.
Yeah, that's true, but it's still a long way to go. We will see.
Okay, Robbie, you time. Tell something you know. I understand you're a native speaker, so let the people hear how the native speaker speak perfect English.
Everybody, thanks a lot for the support, and hope we see you all next year.
I like this moment. Thank you for your board. Yeah, feel that you are British. Okay, well, thanks guys, and congratulations.
So there we go, Marvin Van Luken and Robbie Wax taking both of the overall victories from the 2 rounds that we've had this year and claiming the red plate once again with a 4-point advantage over Julian Veldman and Andrei Chermak as we come away from Lange in Estonia and head towards Kremlin in 2 weeks' time. Fantastic stuff then from the 2018 World Champion Marvin Van Luken, looking to reclaim that title that he lost in 2019. But in the meantime, we do hope to catch you in 2 weeks' time in Kremlin. Be ready for it because it's going to be absolutely fantastic. But in the meantime, from myself, Bradley Hicks, and the rest of the WSC team, we do hope you've enjoyed this weekend's action, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time in Kremlin. But for now, it's bye-bye.
Aga kuidas sulle võitjad meeldisid?
Alati oleks
Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin Van Luken certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.